how I boarded the wrong Delhi metro, backtracked 7 stations, and accidentally became the star of a mom-daughter rom-com in the most unexpectedly wholesome but mildly uncomfortable way possible. This is one of those random life moments that started as an annoying mistake but somehow turned into a hilarious, almost movie-like situation. The metro mishap that started it all. Yesterday evening, I was traveling from Delhi to Greater Noida to meet a relative. I had taken the yellow line and needed to switch to the blue line at Rajiv Chowk. Now, if you've ever been to Rajiv Chowk during peak hours, you know that it's an absolute battlefield. Crowds pushing in from all directions, everyone in a hurry, and trains getting packed within seconds. In the chaos, I rushed into the first blue line metro that arrived, without checking whether it was going to Vaishali or Noida Electronic City. You can probably guess where this is going. I, like an absolute idiot, ended up on the wrong train. It wasn't until I reached the last station, Vaishali, that I realized my mistake. There I was, standing on the platform, mentally facepalming myself for not checking the direction. I had no choice but to go 7 stations back to Yamuna Bank to board the correct train towards Noida Electronic City. Frustrated, I hopped onto the right metro, found an empty seat near the doors, and sat down. That's when things took an unexpected turn. The mother-daughter duo. Right across from me, there was a mother-daughter pair, both carrying shopping bags. The daughter looked about my age, and they seemed like they had just finished a fun shopping trip. At first, I didn't pay much attention. I had my AirPods in, just vibing to my music, waiting for this long journey to be over. But after a few minutes, I noticed something weird. The mother and daughter were looking at me, not just casually glancing, but whispering and giggling while looking directly in my direction. My first thought? Is something off about me today? Do I look weird? Is there something on my face? I tried to ignore it, but the daughter kept making eye contact with me. It was starting to get a little creepy, to be honest. After 2 stations, the seat next to me became empty. That's when I noticed the mom nudging her daughter, almost as if she was pushing her to do something. And before I could process what was happening, the daughter got up, walked over, and sat right next to me while her mom placed the shopping bags on the seat she had just vacated. Small talk. That wasn't so small. The moment she sat down, she turned to me and asked, "I hope you don't mind if I sit here?" I was caught off guard but replied, "No, not at all." I took out my AirPods and that was it. She started talking. First, she asked where I was headed, where I was coming from, which college I attended, and even complimented my sneakers. I kept my answer short, literally just 2 to 3 words, making it clear that I wasn't particularly interested in chatting. But she wasn't fazed at all. If anything, she seemed more determined to keep the conversation going. She started telling me about herself, answering all the questions she had just asked me as if I had actually asked her. She talked about Delhi, sneakers, fashion, literally all of my interests. For a second I thought, am I in the middle of some weird scam? Because it almost felt like she had done research on me beforehand. Meanwhile, her mom? She was still giggling like she was watching the cutest rom-com unfold in front of her. The second wave. Enter Auntie. By this point, I was just waiting for my stop at Noida Sector 52, where I had to switch to the Aqua line. But guess what? When I got off to change trains, the mother-daughter duo followed me. I figured it was just a coincidence until we boarded the Aqua line, and this time, the mom herself sat next to me, with the daughter on the other side. And then the same interrogation began all over again. Auntie G started asking me the same questions her daughter had already asked: where I lived, what I studied, where I was going. But this time, she took it up a notch. She started complimenting me on my specs, my height, my outfit, and then dropped the ultimate bomb. "Actually, my daughter told me she found you cute when you got on at Yamuna Bank. I had to keep pushing her to talk to you." Oh. So that's what this was about. Suddenly, everything started making sense. The staring, the nudging, the mom giggling like a matchmaker. I had unknowingly walked into a full-fledged Indian mom dating setup in the middle of the Delhi metro. I won't lie, the daughter was kinda cute and seemed like a nice person. But I was already in a relationship, and I'm not the kind of person to entertain something like this out of courtesy. So I smiled and said, "I really appreciate it, but I'm already dating someone." Auntie's response? Legendary. She giggled and said, "It's okay, at least she tried, that's the best thing for me." There was no awkwardness, no embarrassment, just pure, chill mom energy. She seemed genuinely happy that her daughter had taken a chance, regardless of the outcome. When we finally reached Perry Chowk, the girl turned to me one last time and asked for my social media. I lied and said, "I'm not on any socials." She looked a bit disappointed but still smiled and said, "It was nice talking to you." We shook hands, exchanged a polite goodbye, and went our separate ways, me getting into a taxi and them getting into an auto. Looking back, this whole interaction was equal parts awkward, hilarious, and strangely wholesome. What started as an annoying mistake, taking the wrong metro, ended in one of the most unexpectedly entertaining interactions I've ever had. But the real MVP of the story? The mom. I gotta say, respect to moms who are this chill when it comes to their daughters. Usually, it's only sons who get this kind of support when it comes to dating. If this mom ever somehow stumbles upon this story, kudos to you, Ani G. The world needs more moms like you.